Hi guys, Micah here, Model Shop, and this is going to be a little bit different because I'm working on the Ghostbusters Ecto-1, and I'm coming up on stage 52. We're putting together the back. This is like the floor panel for the back. But in doing some of the research and some, I'm always looking at reference pictures and stuff. This floor in the movie on the original Ecto-1 is carpeted, and Eagle Moss does not have carpet on there. In fact, this is it for the floor. It's just a textured floor. And so I found, it's not very hard, he's all over the place, but I found an accessory site called Mike Lane Mods, and anyone who's watched some of my previous videos saw that I did the carpeted floor in the front seat. Yeah. And I've even dirtied it up. But this is like a sticky foam material, but it looks just like the carpet. And I'm very, very happy with how this looks. And I even dirtied it up by putting some sand shavings on here. This is, this color right here is Millennium Falcon color. Anyway, very, very happy with these seats. They even move forward. But anyway, so this is not an actual Ghostbusters kit build today. So I'm going to put the Ghostbusters stuff away. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the carpets on from Mike Lane Mods. Hopefully. He ships out of England, but even in the midst of COVID and days after Brexit went into effect, I had no problem getting the parts that I ordered. Literally within, maybe a week or two. I've had worse luck ordering stuff here in the States. Okie dokie. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out these pieces and we're going to figure out which ones are which. Some of them are going to be really obvious and other ones are going to be less than obvious. I'll put those pieces over there. There. His attention to detail on these cuts are also amazing too. I don't know if they're laser cuts, a water jet. I don't know what his process is, or even where he found this material. It appears just to be an aerated foam, but it has a super consistent density all the way through. And all told, it looks like automotive carpet. Lots of pieces. Like I said, some of them will be obvious, others not so much. So this, because of this guy right here, I know that goes right there. So that's helpful. So on their website, it does have all of these pieces labeled. So maybe we'll do that here. Okay. And that goes right there. This is piece B here. And what I'm doing is I'm referring to his website, where he's got everything laid out pretty clearly. And sorry if I keep bumping the camera. So, I'm a little afraid. Nope, that's not it. That goes over here. That's going to be piece E. This has got to be piece C. Oops. And then we got the two shorties, the real shorties. Looks like the really thin one is G. Step by step says start with the big one. And that looks good. So the way that I have been dealing with this stuff is real similar to the way you put on a cell phone screen. And the way I do that is by taking, peeling it back in the hardest spot to get right. So in that case, I'm going to do this weird thing. But it's also the part that's, easy to make sure that it's working. But then also going to line up with the part that's easiest to line up, in which case I've got this right angle here, which is nice and easy to line up. So what I'm going to do, anyone who's watched these things before, I'm going to profess to tell you that I've never done this before. Well, I've done this once, but I know not what I speak of. This is simply how I do it. I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to tell you how to do it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is line this side up so that I'm happy with it. Make sure that it doesn't move. And as I let this go, I'm going to feed it all the way down. And load that in. And then I'm going to get right up into the edges and make sure that the edges are down with the back of my tweezers. And make sure that it's nice and flat. Okay, so now there's the difference. Unlike cell phone screen, this is probably stretchy, and if I really work on it, I can, even though I'm laying it flat, I can still get it out of the, out of straight. So, but now what I'm going to do is just start peeling. I'm going to try to peel it as straight as I possibly can. And I'm going to push it flat. As I go, so that I have no air bubbles. And voila. That's not too bad. Yeah. Okay. So then, I think the next hardest one is going to be this one. And it's not straight. It's got a bevel right here, which means I think that goes out here. And unfortunately, the backing of this material is more firm than the material itself. So getting it to peel away from each other is kind of rough to start it sometimes. Sometimes it peels right up. I don't have any problem with the big piece. Trusty Ecto blade is all you need. Okay. So once again, I'm going to peel this back. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the side that's still covered. Make sure that it's all nice and straight. Whoops. Make sure it gets all the way into the corner. Oops, slipped. Yeah, Okay, that's gonna work. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna improvise a little bit. Okie dokie. So I did get her started. The trick is I want to save the seam down in the bottom and make sure that it stays straight on us. It wants to lift. Again, the back of the tweezers is really helpful. Okay. That was the hard part. Okay, so far so good. Now we're going to do this piece. This piece I'm going to do differently because this is so fragile that I don't want to I don't want to base the straightness on these two pieces staying straight. It's pretty straightforward, so I think that if I get this other side set properly, then we'll be okay. Boy, somebody has a tried and true technique for getting this to peel. Share it. There we go. Looks like that's the trick. Okay, so again, I'm going to fold this. And I like putting a nice little crease in this because I don't want it to be a giant gap. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is keep this away so it doesn't stick down until I want it to stick down. And I'm going to basically line it up. It's nice and straight all the way back, and now I'm stuck. Gonna make sure that that seam looks good right there. Okay, so now I can peel it, and I'm putting my finger across the top because I don't want it to come up. Trying not to do too much at a time. Sorry if I keep bumping you. Okay. So far so good. Okay, now we need piece D. I guess that's the way to do it. Okay, so once again, the most important edge right here is this front seam. So I'm going to make sure I'm happy with that. I'm going to work it all the way back. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to peel it forward a little bit at a time. And the most important thing is to just keep it from working its way up. So I'm going to keep a finger on the top. And like I said, I'm not an expert. I've only done this one other time, but that seems to work. Yay! Okay, so before we go on to that, let's do the other side. And on this side, We're going to do this one first, and then we'll do this one second. And then I've got sides here and here. Okay. So once again, I picked the side that's flat and easiest to line up as the side not to peel the sticky away. Jeez. Folding that over. We're going to put this in, line it up nice and straight all the way down. Ooh, this is so thin that I'm concerned about it wandering on me a little bit. Okay, so just like I put my finger across the top, on this one, I'm going to put it across the front. Perfect. There we go. Getting better at that. Okay, and these have a slight taper. Yeah, okay. So once again, I'm going to fold this over. A nice crease on it so that it's not bulging. And again, what's most important is the bottom seam and the top seam. Okay. And once again, I'm going to peel it off while running my finger across the top. Yay. Excuse me. And this little tweezer is very, very helpful. So now I'm going to figure out taper. I think we're going to go like that. Ooh, no, it's the other way around. We're going like that. Sure enough. Okay. There we go. Okay, this is just like the bigger pieces. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to line up the bottom until I'm happy with it. Okay. Fancy. And one last one. And then we get to do the vent and the rail. There we go. Once again, we're going to put her in, line it up. There we go. Okay. Next, we're going to do the vent and the rails. But some of those are tiny. Those require gluing. Okay, so I think what we're going to do, I'm using my Molotow liquid chrome pen, and I love it. I think what I'm going to do is get her going, get a good amount of paint on there, put it right on the tip of a screwdriver. And then I apologize if I'm moving this out of the way so you guys can't see it, because I got close enough to see it. Gotta get it to focus. That's pretty good. I don't want a whole lot more than that. Okay, so I'm going to do that times 4. So 3 more. It's nerve-wracking, which it really shouldn't be, because if I screw this up, I guess I'd probably wash it off or even paint it again. But I've always said with this kit, come with me and see if I screw it up. The funny part is that, for the most part, what I'm doing that's artistic is screwing it up, because I'm weathering it, giving it age. Otherwise, this thing would be brand spanking new. There we go. Isn't that bad? It's not bad at all. They actually look like metal screws. Nice. Okay. So now let's peel the back. And this, I'm not going to stress too much about it. I apologize that I've got this elevated so you can't see it. First thing I did was drop it into a place where I'm not happy with it, so I was going to move it. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. It's even got some screws on it. Yay. And now they suggest putting a little bit of glue on the top side. Now these are beautiful. Oh, you know what? I got more screws. Those I think I'm going to do afterwards, though. Oh, that doesn't go there now, does it? Or does it? Oh, it sure does. I go right there. And I'll bet you there's a shorter one. I think the screws go down. Gonna have to zoom into the picture here and see. Yeah, sure enough, they're looking right at me. I'm gonna do the screws first. Okay, we're just going to continue on. I've got all these guys placed. You can see that I've got the screws kind of painted. I'm starting to chip away at some of the black paint. And I'm just going to dab a little bit of CA glue. Across the top rim. That's the suggestion from the website, is just to put a little bit of CA glue across the top rim. Give it some good pressure for a couple of seconds until I feel like it's not going to fight me. I think that's going to do it. Okay, let's do this one. I'm using a medium thickness. The thin is terrifying because it goes everywhere, and the thick, sometimes it takes too long to set. So the medium thickness works out pretty good. And I was going to weather this up a little bit, but as I'm messing with it, I keep scratching off some of the black paint, which is okay. But I think because of that, I'm not going to need to weather it. And I still have a bunch of things to install, so it's probably going to get weathered just by being played with, which is good. I'm pretty happy with how the screws turned out, because I was thinking about it. Even if they were black screws, just the process of screwing in a black screw scrapes some of the black. So, and maybe I'm just hard at putting things together. I don't know. But very few of the black screws I have on any of my nice furniture stay all the way black. Well, that looks very professional. Once again, this is Mike Lane Mods. Find them on the web. And I wouldn't be discouraged about shipping from England. He does pretty good. It's better than some of the stuff in the States. Now this piece right here is cut just a little long, but it's not too long. And I think that what that speaks to is either the Mike Lane mods are hand built, which if that's the case, my hat's off to you even more. But if not,